Hey everyone. Okay, so I got some requests to go ahead and do a video on the Graftobian techniques, which is what I learned at Imats. So yeah, let's get started. Again, excuse my voice and my autofocusing. But first of all, this is a Graftobian technique video. So these are what I use in my makeup kit. Okay. It is their HD, let me get the exact name for you, Graftobian High Def Glamour Cream, and I have it in Neutral 1, Warm 1, why is it going like that? Okay, obviously that's the one I use a lot, Neutral 2, Warm 2, and then Cool 1. Which obviously you could tell I do more makeup on lighter skin tones. But I like this Cool palette because it's great for contouring, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use it with. Okay? Next, you're going to need the Anti-Shine HD Foundation Primer, which again is a must-have. Their foundation, which I have it in this pot right here. Because I use their makeup constantly, so for myself. So this is what I have for me. A sponge, non-latex, soft sponge. And these ones I'm really liking. I got these ones at Target. The Cosmetic Wedges, latex free. The Up and Up brand from Target. I really like these. I tried these ones from Walmart. And they were like really rough. And I was like, ugh, I can't use these. A fan brush. Their palette, or any kind of steel palette. I've used plastic palettes, I've used the back of my hand, and after really learning why this works and after really using a steel palette, this is better off. Okay, I have this little spatula, but I recommend getting, you don't have to get the Graftobian one, but I recommend getting a correct spatula. I need to lower this because I'm having to arch my back too much and it hurts. Water. Now, I put water. This is my old Fix Plus bottle. She used an infused one with minerals and stuff like that, that she said was better, but water's still okay, and I don't have that brand that she has. It's not from Graftobian. So yeah, so this is how I have been doing my foundation. When I want to look nice, when I'm just want to look nice. So yeah, let's get started. I don't have their powder either, but a tip that I learned from inside of the class is that you don't need powder to set this makeup when you're using their HD foundation primer. Okay, so we're gonna start off, and I also really I cannot wait to get their Oxyderm moisturizer, which I do not own, but I will be. But right now I'm going to be using the Oil Control Lotion from MAC. Okay, so technique in tip 1, very essential. She really made it a point to say that this was the key thing to making the makeup look its best. Okay, so you're going to get a sponge, okay, and you're going to start tearing off the edges. Not a lot. That first one I kind of took a lot. And she says that, this is from Susanna from Graftobian, she says that she has these all already pre-done for her, so that way she's not like me, like taking the time to do it. But I wanted to show you. Okay, so it is, come on, like tapered, or it has like that spongy effect, no real harsh lines. Okay, so this looks really disgusting. But I'm going to go ahead and start dabbing it on my face. Now, if I'm looking down, it's because I want to make sure that my camera is focusing. And I need to be able to look in my mirror straight ahead. So we are not going to use circular motions or swiping motions. It's all about the stipple effect. Okay? She does not use foundation brushes. She does not recommend using foundation brushes. This is how she does this. She uses a sponge for putting on the moisturizer and the primer. Now, of course, I would have done this like 15 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. So that way this could really have a chance to set in, but I wanted to show you guys step by step. So next is the HD foundation primer, okay? You're not gonna be able to see it because it's white. So I'm gonna get just a little bit like that, little tiny pea size, put it on my palette. This kind of sounds cheesy, huh? Put it on the palette, swipe it. No, just kidding. Okay, so we're gonna place it on there. We're now gonna wet the sponge. This is now the reason why I'm talking like this and I'm going step by step is because this is what she did. This is how she explained it to us, telling us step by step on what she did. So if I sound kind of boring, it's because I'm really trying to let you guys know this is exactly how she did the explaining to us, okay? So I'm just gonna wet the sponge, and she saturates it pretty well. You don't want it to be sopping wet, but you want it enough to where it's damp and it starts to enlarge, okay? So I don't know if you could tell, but it did get bigger. Let me get you a different one. For those of you that don't use sponges, haven't used sponges, haven't even heard of this type of foundation application, well, I guess you can't really tell. But see how it's like misshaped, this one? Okay, and it did kind of bulk up a little bit. So this is what she says she does. She does not like straight put it on the sponge or go directly into it, okay? She swipes down and she gets it from there, and then she pats. So that way it really absorbs into the sponge without making like too much on any one spot. So we're gonna start and just do the same technique all around. And like you don't need a lot of this. I noticed too when I was first using Graftobian, oh, stupid focus, I was using way too much. So yeah, so now I'm gonna just start putting it all over, especially under the eyes because that's where we crease mostly. The forehead is where we fade. A lot of people, I see girls, their foreheads, it's like they didn't even put makeup on their forehead. You know, don't forget your forehead, ladies. So this is what she did. She literally sat there and stippled all this on, okay? Now, I love the way it smells. It's almost like a granny smell, but a good granny smell, like that florally smelling feeling. Okay, so and what she did too, she uses this as her eyeshadow primer as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And she used a brush. Well, she said you can do it with your finger or with your brush, and you can layer it on depending how oily that person is how many different layers you would think you would need, but you need to let them dry in between. So now that we have that on, my skin is really nice. It's a little bit tacky. It's evened out, smells great. Next, we're gonna go on to the foundation, okay? So I am darker around here than I am in the middle, okay? I also have dark circles, some pigmentation around my upper lip, and yeah. So I also had like a tan, and here in Bakersfield, like you tan whether you want to or not. So that's why I'm darker up here, because my grandfather drives a Volkswagen, like the old Bugs kind of thing. So when we were taking my daughter to school and picking her up, I was in the Volkswagen with the top down because that's how my daughter liked it. So I was constantly getting darker here. But anyway, so I'm going to start off with this darker color first. Ooh. Okay, as you can tell, I've used it. I'm going to go back in with my little... Now it's hard, okay? It's not like it's real creamy, and it's hot in here, and this is still a pretty thick consistency. But that's okay. So I'm gonna flip this to the other side so it's clean. I'm gonna put it on, okay, and just start warming it up. Now, despite, you know, this being a steel palette, with you just, you know, really working it in there, the product does warm up, okay? So you want it to be, you know, more creamy than chunky. But yeah, so we're just doing that, getting it all nice and warmed up. I'm going to put the excess on here, and I am going to wet the sponge a little bit more. She wets this and the sponge. You know, she said it depends on the person's skin. Mine's kind of dry right now, so I am going to use a little extra moisture. Now, before I put it straight on here, she uses a towel, or she said you can use your hand, and just tap off the excess water, okay? Now, I'm not going to get it, again, I'm not going to go in and totally scrape that off. I'm going to bring that down. I think my grandfather's telling me something. Okay, bring it down and tap. Now I'm going to focus all around my face. Now you would think like, oh, you want it to be all even. You know, why aren't you doing your face so it's all evened out? But if you're working on TV and film, which I know a lot of you makeup artists aren't, just the way that the economy is. But for those of you that are, you know, doing makeup for weddings and stuff like that, you know, you don't want the skin to look fake. You want it to look like skin. You want it to look pretty, you know, and have dimension. So I'm focusing all around. You know, I really don't have a lot of product on here. Now, if I had a lot of really bad blemishes, pimples and stuff, you would go ahead and conceal those first, okay? I forgot to mention that. So you're going to notice my skin's not that bad, but I do have some uneven skin tone. So now that that is all stippled in, I'm going to go in with the lighter color. I think my grandfather's about to walk in here. Which is Vixen. Okay. Do the same thing, put it on the palette. Warm it up. I want to try not to edit my video, so I'm just going to be warming it up right here. Now before, if you do this on your hand, you're going to waste a lot of product, and that's what I was doing, and I was wasting a lot of product. And I don't know what it is about the steel palette. That's still something I haven't really learned, but I know it's working. Like, you really get all the product off, okay? So this is pretty warmed. I'm going to go back in with the same sponge. Again, wipe it off on there. Tap it off just a little so it's not, I don't get this blob of color. And then I'm going to swipe it down. Just use what's down here and start doing all the middle and under my eyes. Now this just gives you the slightest, I'm rubbing it down again, doing the tapping off the excess. I noticed after doing it this way, now it may not seem like something that spectacular or drastic to you, but after I did it this way, I was using less product. My makeup was looking not cakey. It still made my skin look like skin, and it looked really nice. Like, my skin looks really nice and natural. I mean, that is the biggest thing. If somebody has scarring, somebody has deep pivots in their face, severe acne, you're not going to take that away. Okay, you're not. It's not. Their face is going to look kicky, and it's going to look overdone and plastic. So your job as a makeup artist is to make their skin look like skin. So calm down the redness. The parts of their skin that is normal or okay. Normal meaning not too oily, not like ugly, not normal, not that kind of not normal. You know, you're gonna even out all that. You know, still have 2 different colors on the face, sometimes 3. So that way that the skin that is showing, that is not blemished or scarred or something, looks pretty. And when you're looking at them, it's that overall of their skin looks nice, despite that their acne problems, their scarring, or whatever it may be. Okay, you're not gonna get, the point is to not overdo the makeup. So now my skin is looking pretty even toned. Now I do have like some extra spots here that I'm noticing that this did not cover up enough, but I don't want to go and have too much makeup on my face. So now I'm going to conceal. This is what I do after I do this, after I put my makeup on. Now this, I need to stop going off. I forgot what I was going to say now. You can do the conceal first, but the reason why I like to put my foundation on first is so that I'll use less concealer. Because sometimes, like looking at certain blemishes, especially these, I have a couple right here and a couple right here of scarring, they look really bad to me. And then once I put the foundation on, like, I'm just like, you know, it's not even a big deal. I can't even really tell. So there's that. And I am, like I said, going to go back in and conceal some spots using my Vixen color. Let's see what brush. I need to clean my makeup brushes. Okay. So we're going to go in and we're going to take it, sanitary reasons. Okay, let's keep everything clean, please. Put it on there. Warm it up. I'm going to spray it with some water. I'm using a synthetic brush. This is the, I'm rubbing it in like so to really get the product moving and warmed up. I'm using the Costco Burgessi makeup brushes. Okay, so I really thin that out. Now I'm going to go back in certain areas that I want a little extra coverage. And I pat, okay? I'm not globbing on. And using your fingers, as long as the client thinks that, or you ask the client, I always ask the client, if they're okay with you using your, you know, you got to ask them if they're okay with that. So now I'm going to go back in. Now this is a process, okay? Yes, it is a process. You know, she did not say this was the fastest way. She just said this is what works. So let's do with what works and not what's the fastest. So if it's going to take you 10 minutes to do somebody's face, then you need to make the time to do that. Okay? You need to be there earlier and you need to let them know, you know, I need this amount of time to do your makeup. Now, of course, circumstances come up and you have to create shortcuts. You know, that's fine. But so right now I'm going to do my under eyes. Now, right now I'm just going to place it. Okay, and I'm going to use a salmon-y color, which I don't have one from Graftobian. I don't have the corrector palette, which she did use. But I do have, this is my own personal one, and this is the erase paste from Benefit. And I'm going to mix that in because I really do. Now, I could have mixed it on the palette, but this is my own personal one. So, that's why I'm sticking it in there. So like that. I'm going to go back in with the sponge and stipple that on. She used their concealer palette. Oops. It's not recommended that you put this on the eyelids, the cream. Now the model that she did, she put 2 layers of the HD primer on her eyelids. Like once it dried, she put another one on. And the whole time we were there, that, you know, 30-45 minutes, I think. I don't even remember. 45 minutes, an hour. Her eyelids did not crease, and she was under some pretty crazy lighting. So, you know, that's why I was like, okay, 2-in-1 eye primer, foundation primer. So now that we have that set, do you guys, now I know my camera is not the best. My other camera is just giving me so much hassle. That's why I'm using my webcam. But you guys can see the, now because of how my lighting is, it looks darker right here and you don't see the darkness around here, but it's there. And yeah, okay, let's try to focus. So my skin looks like skin. It has dimension. It's not one coat like, you know, a Barbie or something. It's still kind of demi-matte, meaning it has a nice glow without it being shiny, greasy, you know, or shimmery. And that's what you want, especially when you're working on TV. This Graftobian brand is used on Law & Order, which I am a Law & Order fanatic. So I was really impressed and really excited to know that they used this. So yeah, so next is going to be the contouring. Now, she doesn't really use blush all the time. She said you have to look at makeup on a grayscale. What's going to show on a grayscale if something is turned into black and white. And a lot of people have natural, when you put on a contour, a natural blush of pigmentation is there. And when you're working in HD, pictures, photography, obviously that's the same thing, film and stuff like that, you don't want this blob of color because it's going to show, okay? So I'm not going to do blush. I'm just going to do a nice contour. The color that I'm using for me today, and I have to use my kit one because I ran out of my own one, is going to be in Henna, which is this one right here. Okay, it's a few shades darker than me, so it's going to give me that contour, a little bit of bronzing effect as well. So I'm going to go in with my trusty little spatula. Just get a little tiny bit, you know, half of what I got. And I'm going to use the same side, put that right on there, really work that in. Now, honestly, right now, I forget if she used a sponge or if she used something different. But I believe she did use a sponge. So we're going to go ahead and use the sponge. Now, this just melted beautifully. From holding the steel palette in your hand, you would think it would stay cold or cool, but it doesn't. It really warms up to your own temperature. Okay? We're going to go in with the same exact sponge, okay? And I'm going to put that on top. Now you can really see, okay, see when I put it on, it blobbed right there. So that's what the back of your hand is for. That's what tapping it on the palette is for. So when you put it on, it's not just a blob. So I'm going to bring that down, tap, bring that down, tap, and put it right here. Kind of going on the cheekbone as well. Turning it opposite so there's no harsh edges. Okay, do that on the opposite side. And it's your job as a makeup artist to really be able to match people, okay? Like, really practice that. Even if you have to charge people for free. I've done a lot of free work. I still do a lot of free work just for the practice. Even though I've been doing this for as long as I have, you never stop learning. And I totally believe that. Okay, so now do you see how that warmed me up? You're going to see it on this side because this is where the light is coming in. It warmed me up. It gave me a bronzing, a little contour, a flush to my cheek. Okay, and that's about it for that. She did spray it with that spray. I'm going to use my Fix Plus. Fix Plus is not a setting spray, people. It's more of a refresher spray, okay? But it's really hot as hell here, so I'm going to refresh my face. So we're going to spray that on and tap it back in just with the same sponge. Oops, opposite side though, or you don't want the side with the bronzer. This is just going to melt everything in. She also recommends, one of the other tips that she gave was not letting your client get photographed or filmed for at least 15 minutes after, because then that's when everything's going to settle in and work together and really work with the face. Next, she added a minute amount of light powder to here, which I'm not going to. She only did it on one side of the face, so you could see the difference, but she really does not. She says you don't need it. A little bit of a dark color right here, and then a translucent, or like the color of their skin ever so lightly, just all over. Okay, I'm gonna do one more layer of the HD foundation primer on top of my lid. And if you guys can really feel this, it is like, can you see that? It is tacky. You don't have to wait for it to dry. If you put like a shimmery color right on top, it will hold. not so much like a glitter, but, and I'm just using my finger. So I think that's it. So yeah, so we just used this one sponge that we cut off the tips to, or all the harsh edges. Now she said the reason why she does this, now this is what I wanted to tell you guys and I forgot, is because your skin is not flat. Your skin is not a steel palette. Your skin is not plastic, okay? So when you're just using this part, this is just straight flat, okay? Now when you have those grooves, it really works into the different parts of your skin a lot better, and it creates that mesh effect. So everything is working in with each other compared to, you know, doing this, and then it does make it harder to blend, okay? So when you're constantly creating these sponge like things, all like as you're pushing down on it, you're interlocking all that color, okay? So it blends better with the natural, like the pores of your face and the different textures of someone's skin, okay? So I know I didn't really explain that the best, but this is what I learned in class, and I am really excited that I got this primer. You guys will love this, and I really recommend you can get this. You can get this at Graftobian.com. You can get this at MakeupMania.com. Oh wait, I don't know if they still have this. I'm not sure. I'll get back to you. I like Makeup Mania because they seem to be the cheapest. You can get these for $9 at MakeupMania.com, which you can't get them anywhere for that price. Nowhere. These are also $19.99, which at Imats they were selling these for $19.99, so I did not feel a need to buy them. I wanted to get a few more, but to me, I thought, why? Like, I can get those at MakeupMania.com. Makeup Mania does sell the steel palettes. They sell all of these, all the different ones, even the ones with the 18 colors. The reason why I didn't get those is because I really started off with just 2 of these in my makeup kit, and I didn't want to go and spend, you know, $64. Some places are up to $69. On, you know, I felt like, what if I don't use it all? What if, you know, blah, 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 blah. I can get some from the cool palette, some from the warm, some from the neutral, you know, and that has really worked out for me. If you find that you work more on warm tones, then of course get the whole warm one. She also used from the blush palette to show us what the blush would look like, a lip palette and all that, which I do plan on investing in. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. This might be a 2-part video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys can already see everything's meshing in. See this nice glow. My skin looks natural, and I'm really loving this product. And 107 degree weather here in Bakersfield, my makeup does not budge. So talk to you guys soon. Bye.